You might think the cost of working is the drive or the long hours. Those are obvious, but the real costs are those you don't see until you actually stop working. Pay attention to number 5. That one blindsides so many people. I'm Jeremy, and I've been helping people successfully retire for nearly 30 years. Let's get into it. Cost number 1, the stress you don't know you're actually carrying. You may think you're not that stressed and you like your job, and that's what almost every client tells me before they retire. But after they retire, they say, I had no idea how much weight I was carrying. One client said it felt like putting down a 15-pound backpack. He didn't feel the weight he was carrying until it was gone. You see, research shows chronic work stress is linked to heart disease, high blood pressure, weight gain, and poor sleep. It changes how your body works. But you don't feel it because it builds so slowly. The emails on vacation, the calls on weekends, the Sunday night dread. But your body knows, your sleep knows, and guess what? Your spouse knows. Have you ever experienced anything like this before? If you have, feel free to leave an answer in the comments. Cost number 2, the hours you're not counting. When a client tells me they work 45 hours a week, I ask them some questions. What about your commute? The time you need to unwind once you get home? The emails before bed? That mental load on the weekends? It can add up. Most people give 60 hours a week to their job, sometimes more. And here's what nobody counts: those tired hours. You come home at 5:30, but you really aren't there. You're recovering, you're sitting on the couch because you got nothing left. Those really aren't your hours. They still belong to your work. And when you retire, you don't just get those 8 hours a day, you get back your evenings, your weekends, and your energy. And your work can be detrimental to your health, which brings us to cost number 3, the toll on your health. Think about what your job does to your body. That stress eating, sitting all day, the workouts you skip, that sleep you cut short. You tell yourself you'll fix it later in retirement. Research shows people tend to gain a lot of weight during the last 5 years of work. And you may have time in retirement to focus on your health, but you may be starting from a deficit. I've seen many people drop 20 pounds or more in their first 2 years of retirement. So here's the question. What's the point of one more year of savings if it costs you your health? If this is hitting different than most retirement advice videos, hit subscribe. I share lessons like this every week from nearly 30 years of working with retirees. Now let me show you cost number 4. This one's about something you may never get back. And that's cost 4, the relationships you're neglecting. Here's something I've watched happen way too many times. A client works 60 hours a week for 30 years. They miss soccer games and dinners. Then they retire. But their kids are already grown. Their spouse has already built a life without them, and they have grandkids they barely know. They traded relationships for a bigger portfolio, and now they got a lot of money, but they don't have anybody to spend time with. I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow, but count your cost honestly. Cost number 5, the friendships that aren't real. This one catches a lot of people off guard. At work, you have dozens of people around you, people you talk to every day. You grab lunch with, people you think are your friends. Then you retire, and you find out most of them are just coworkers. You see, without work, you didn't have a lot in common. You really didn't have true friendships. Research shows strong friendships are one of the biggest predictors of happiness as you age. But if you haven't built them outside of your work, you may not have any. Work may give you a feeling of belonging, but retirement will reveal the truth. Cost number 6, life you're putting off. Every client has a list. The trips they're going to take, the hobbies they're going to start, the time they're going to spend with the grandkids. When I retire, they say. When I have time, they say. But if you keep putting off life, life stops waiting. I've seen it way too many times. People retire too late. Their health changed and they couldn't do what they're planning on doing. Or worse, they died too soon. Your health years have an end date, and many times they don't give you a warning. Cost number 7, the person you're not becoming. This one's a bit harder to measure, but it might be one of the biggest. When you're working, who you are is tied to your work. Your growth is tied to your career. Your days are shaped by someone else's needs. But who are you outside of that? What would you learn if you had the time? What would you create? What would you explore? I've watched clients retire and find parts of themselves they never knew existed. My own father-in-law started painting. One of our clients got more involved in an alumni association. Another one got deep down into the church they're a part of. You see, they didn't just get their time back, they found more themselves. The question isn't what work is costing you, it's also about who is work keeping you from becoming. So is one more year worth it? Maybe. Sometimes it is. If you want help running your numbers and see if you can stop working, I put together a free video called the Riverbend Bridge Method. It's a framework we use with clients to bring together their taxes, income, investments, and Social Security in one clear plan. The link is in the description to watch it now. Hope all's well with you and your family, and I'll see you in the next video.